Concho, Arizona is a tiny ranching community about 30 miles northeast of Show Low, and it is on the verge of drying up. The small reservoir that supplies water to Concho's farms and ranches has gotten so low that it is usually empty by midsummer, and the waterway that once fed into it is now choked and stagnant. But it wasn't always this way. In its prime, Concho Reservoir brought abundance to a community that was once considered a gem of the Arizona high desert.
When I first saw the valley itself, it was so beautiful. It was so green.
People would come down this valley and say, man, it's just like an oasis down here with all the green and everything pretty.
When you top the hill, coming down into Concho, it was just, it was that beautiful.
Fed by a constantly flowing spring, the reservoir supported a productive and fertile valley with sheep ranching, fruit orchards, farming, and a prosperous community of around 5,000 people.
The water ran constantly, 24/7, all year round.
Concho had an abundance of water because of the springs.
A lot more gardening and orchards and stuff. The old house had the most beautiful orchard in Concho, just everything you could imagine.
We had apples, pears, cherries, peaches, an apricot orchard on that side.
Today, Concho Reservoir struggles to provide even a small percentage of the water it once did. Over the years, a series of poor development decisions damaged the spring and creek that feed into the reservoir, dramatically decreasing its flow. The question is, can the damage be reversed and the spring restored? The reservoir was originally created in the 1890s when the community came together to construct a dam to store water. Over time, the resulting reservoir became a center of Concho life, providing irrigation water, fishing, and recreation. Concho became a thriving community with 4 mercantile stores, a post office, saloons, and 2 banks. With the abundance of water the spring provided, the small community became an oasis in the desert.
We watered every 8 days, and the rest around the creek.
Even people without shares got water for their gardens.
We used to have a whole week of irrigation straight.
7 days.
We would water, we'd get the whole head coming down this way. There was another head going down this side over here.
I went fishing and in a half an hour caught my limit of rainbow trout.
We walked up the creek and caught fish with our bare hands out of the creek. Now, I don't even know if there is any fish in it.
Problems with the reservoir began in the late 1960s when investors bought up property and water rights in Concho Valley to develop a golf course on the land where the springhead was located. The creation of the golf course with its bridges, ponds, and access roads set in motion a series of events that over time resulted in damage to the spring and decreased water flow to the reservoir.
When they first decided to develop that golf course up there, they approached people that had water rights down here.
They bought the land and they transferred the water rights up there to build a farm. And they didn't build the farm, they built the golf course. So it was a lie from the very beginning.
In 2012, the golf course closed and the land was sold. Longtime residents disagree about what caused today's problems with the spring and who might be to blame for the damage. But what is clear is that after the golf course ceased being maintained, the spring's output began to deteriorate and the flow of water to the reservoir became impeded. A few attempts were made to correct the problem, but each alteration only proved more destructive than the last. Today, only a small percentage of the spring's reduced output flows into the reservoir. Once a reliable source of irrigation water, the reservoir's water supply has become sporadic, unable to meet the needs of local farms, ranches, and simple gardens.
You know, we don't have any runoff. It's all spring. It's not like snowpack melts and it flows into that lake. I mean, we're all spring. All the other springs around here are working fine, but somehow that lake is not filling up and something's happening there. And it's not other people pumping water out of it because there's nothing upstream. And so we're losing it to someplace.
There is too much pressure on the spring. The spring should be coming strong, but it's not because it's being held. And it's going every different direction besides towards the lake. It's held up at the bridge, it's going down the well. Why, with any common sense, would you drill a well 4 feet or 2 feet from the creek? Why would you do that? There's places all the way along that we're losing water now. And the more they dig on each side and around it or pile up dirt on it, the less we're gonna have. Right now we have water grass for hundreds of feet on each side of it. There's a lot of water going elsewhere besides in the lake. It's my fault too. I didn't own shares until a few years back, but I should have stood up and fought when they were doing the golf course. I should have said, no, I don't want this. This is the thing, is right now we haven't been real good stewards. The next owner does it again. It just keeps getting worse.
After many years of sometimes sharp disagreements over possible solutions, Concho residents are now leveraging the power of self-reliance as they work together to solve their water problems.
3 years ago, the hope was somehow it's going to work itself out. Well, it's not. And I think everybody, even the standouts, have now said, no, it's not.
We don't fight anymore. Now that I took over, we don't fight anymore.
Last year, the Water Board's president organized an event where residents spent a day removing dirt and debris which had washed into irrigation ditches during a major flash flood. People of all ages showed up with shovels in hand, and a local resident brought his excavator to dig out overgrown areas. So much goodwill was created during that event that now other work projects are being planned.
If you just do what you can, when you can make a big difference.
We're old, but we can still pick up a shovel.
Before major work can even begin, the project needs to be engineered so that water can be diverted while obstructions to the spring are removed, channels are repaired, and pipes installed.
The water needs to run freely away from the spring, as fast as it can go.
I think you have to pump out some areas and fix it. And pump out some areas, but first you have to engineer it.
I believe by piping it past all the obstructions that's been put there, I think we can stop a lot of it. But we're going to have more than 4-inch pumps. We're going to have some pumps that'll pump water, get the weight off of it. If we don't, it's dead.
Concho residents are soliciting donated time, equipment, and materials from residents and area businesses. They are working to develop a plan that would repair the spring and get the water flowing back into the reservoir. The cost to fix the spring will be greatly reduced through these efforts, but there will still be expenses beyond what residents can provide. With your help, we can heal our beautiful reservoir and restore Concho to the desert oasis it once was.
And as long as I can remember, that spring's been going, probably been going for 1,000 years, you know, maybe even more than that.
Please, help us keep the spring going for many generations to come.